How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Training Camp Podcast. If you guys didn't miss it, we took a week off last week just because of the election. We didn't want to have any distractions or anything of that sort. So, hope you guys had a good week off. I hope that my wallet winners saved you guys. We'll get into that later, but I had a bad week the week prior, so maybe it was good that I had a week off. But on the course for today, we're going to be talking more Pittsburgh Steelers stuff just because they're 8-0. Really curious how they're going to go this season, as well as Dallas Cowboys rumors and what Jerry's been talking about. Of course, our NFL tiers, and then my wallet winners, as well as our guests' wallet winners. We got another guest, brand new guy in the building, Mr.
Yes.
Parker Blake. Welcome in, my guy.
Thank you. Good to be here, man. Good to be here.
So Parker and I actually, out of everyone that's come on the show, I've known Parker the longest. And one of the best memories I have with Parker, so Parker's a Bengals fan. And one of the best memories I have with Parker, probably not the best for Parker, but he came over to my house for the Bengals-Steelers playoff series in 2015 when the Bengals unfortunately blew that game in the last minute. And so I remember everything happened, and I was so happy. I turned around, and poor Parker just slumped on the couch, just depressed.
Every time I see your face, it's like all I can think of. We had it in the bag. We were doing great, and then all of a sudden, oh man, I miss Burfict, but I'm not upset that we don't have him anymore. I'll tell you that.
You got a great quarterback, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We can keep him healthy.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, seriously, for such a bad offensive line, he's been doing a
he's
great
putting up
job.
crazy numbers. We just can't, do anything with them.
So cool thing about Parker too is he also is a coach for football, and he played football as well. So I mean, I'd say he's pretty knowledgeable about the sport.
I really try to be.
He's not just a fan. So first thing we're going to talk about today are the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they're entering Week 10 8-0 after coming off of a win against the Dallas Cowboys. Now their past two wins have been kind of squeak outs. They basically ended the exact same way. Of course, Baltimore, it was that last drive, and they broke up the pass with the game clock expiring, and the exact same thing happened for the Cowboys. And in both games, they had to come back from behind. So my question is Pittsburgh real, or are these two games showing, especially the Dallas game? I feel like if you're going to play to the Baltimore game and you're going to win on a last-second drive, that's just showing defense. It's a great team. But if you're having to play from behind against the Cowboys, in your mind, does that show that Pittsburgh is going to have struggles, or do you think it's just something that's going to happen throughout the season and they'll get over it?
No, I mean that Ravens game was great, and I think the Ravens, as much as they've been really lackluster this year, I think they're a much better team than they're playing as. Okay. So, and especially it's a division game, and division games are always weird. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you can judge them based off of that. I don't think you can judge them off of the Cowboys game either, just because, I mean, from my experience, you're going to do a game that you know you're going to win.
Right.
They came out lazy. Neither team played a great game. Dallas, who's known for kicking field goals, kicked field goals as they always do. They went they probably had the most field goals in the last 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? But I really don't think. And Dallas quarterback was Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert had a great game. Honestly, I think that's really slept on from that game.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
He played really well, and the end of the game drive that almost gave him the game was a great showing of how he can be. He's no Dak, and once Dak's healthy, he's going to be back. But I think this guy could be a great backup for them, honestly.
Okay. It's funny. I think one of the biggest things that Pittsburgh was trying to do in this game was they were trying to rest James Conner. You saw that he was not getting many handoffs, and he really wasn't in the game plan for the most part. They were running McFarland, and they were running, occasionally Benny Snell, but they were really trying to get McFarland into the groove of the team. So I wonder if it was a situation where they just kind of thought they were going to walk through it, which Pittsburgh has a history of doing, where they expect to walk through a game and they end up losing. And, James Conner hardly played. And so I'm wondering if maybe it was just one of those games where, okay, we're going to, especially an injury-prone player like Conner, we're not going to play him as much. That means you're going to have these younger guys try to win the game for you, and unfortunately they weren't able to. My concern is the defense. They are a top-ranked defense, but the past 2 weeks they allowed 100-plus rushers twice. And one was to J.K. Dobbins. I'm not saying J.K. Dobbins isn't good, but he's a rookie. That usually against a stout they held Saquon to 16 yards. So that's my only issue. Their upcoming schedule, again, this is a lot of people are saying, can the Jets go 0-16 or can the Steelers go 16-0? Which one's more likely? With the Steelers having Cincy twice, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Washington, Buffalo, Indianapolis, and Cleveland, I think there are 3 games they could easily drop. I'm not going to say they're going to go 16-0 because it's one of the hardest things to do, and you can't predict that. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility just because of that schedule. And I think one of the biggest things about that Dallas game is Mike Tomlin's a harsh coach. He is not easy on his players. His players love him, but he's a harsh coach. And I think Mike Tomlin's going to show them this is bullshit. Like their next 3 opponents are going to be Cincy, who are a losing team, a good losing team.
Oh no,
We're good
dropping
losing
at least
team.
one of those. Other one maybe win because of division game.
Well, in my eyes, you guys are the best, worst team in the league.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
And then they play Baltimore, who's it's Baltimore, but then they play Jacksonville, who's also in the top 3 for the pick, and then Buffalo, who Josh Allen's having a struggle. So like, there's a lot in Washington who like they don't even know what they are right now.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that is a schedule where they could go 16-0. It's not going to happen. They're probably going to end up going like 14-2, 13-3, and it's probably, if I had to guess, they will probably lose to Cincy once. They'll probably take one game against Cincy and lose one. I think they'll probably lose to Jacksonville, and I think that they will lose to the Colts. I think those are going to be the 3 games that they drop. I think every other game they win, I think they take both games against Baltimore.
No, for sure. I definitely think coming out, I mean, I think in their eyes, these last 2 games have really been tune-up games for them because they knew they had the Ravens again. They just kind of wanted to see how they were doing against the division. Mm-hmm. They've already played the Browns. Mm-hmm. And I really think coming into Dallas, they were trying to just figure out who they were, trying to get the defense in check. They really just came in to tune up. And I really think it was because they knew they had a long stretch coming. I think they expected to drop the Ravens game. I think they were surprised to win that game, personally. Mm-hmm. I knew that they came into Dallas, wanted to tune up. And I really think the Colts are being slept on. And I think that's going to be a loss for the Steelers, honestly.
I agree. I just think that defense is really good. It's
so good.
And, I mean, again, I don't want to judge the Dallas game for James Conner because I personally think that they were resting him. And James Conner has had a good season. I mean, I think in every single game, but the last game of the Giants game, he's had a touchdown in every single game. So he's really producing. Mm-hmm. He's kind of going back to that year where he filled in for Le'Veon Bell. But they haven't really played a run defense team. And I think the team that they played before Indianapolis, Washington, has a great front 7. And so I think that'll be a real test to how they're going to approach Indianapolis, which I think puts Pittsburgh in a good spot to approach Indianapolis. But I just think the only reason I can see Pittsburgh beating Indianapolis is because Phillip Rivers is immobile and Pittsburgh's pass rush is just out of control.
Oh yeah, that's the Cowboys' biggest problem right now, and we'll talk about that later. But I mean, their offense is non-existent. Their defense is what keeps them in games.
Well, and it's funny because their defense isn't even good.
No, like that. Like I actually wrote that down. But they are the most unimpressive good team out there. They're leading their division, mm-hmm. and they're beating teams that they shouldn't beat. And it doesn't show on the stat sheet. Doesn't show how they play. People just play bad against them.
Well, do you think the Colts are better than the Titans?
I doubt they're better. No, there's no way they're better than the Titans.
Okay, well they have one more game left this season. Do you think the Titans win that game and take the division?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you just think it was a fluke last night?
Oh no, I think it's a fluke.
I'm the same way with division games. Like if Pittsburgh drops, which I genuinely am kind of concerned that Cincinnati could, because like I said, you guys are one of the best bad teams in the league. I think if Pittsburgh drops this game, division games are always different. I think the Seattle-Arizona game was a great example of that. Arizona came out and beat Seattle. Everyone called both. So in our fantasy group chat, me and Parker both called that game. I mean, I had a wallet winner that week as well. And everyone called us nuts. And we pointed out, division games never go the way that you expect them to. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, there's always going to be those games, well, how did this happen when you look back at the season? It's just a division game. That's how it happens. Like, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Cincinnati beat every single team of the division at least once this year, or if the vice versa. Or Oakland beat the Chiefs this year. Oakland, everyone. I'm not gonna say Oakland's a bad team, but that just shows
they shouldn't beat the Chiefs though, especially the way the Chiefs have been playing this year.
Right, and it's one-off game, and no one's writing off Patrick Mahomes because he lost to the Raiders. So.
I mean, look, every year, the Dolphins always beat Brady, Belichick.
Exactly. Even when they're a shit like last year when they were a bad team. It's just going to happen every
And that's why I think, you guys are going to drop one against the Ravens, I feel like, this next game.
You do think?
You drop it just because of the division game.
Okay.
And it's going to be another close game. It's either going to be a close game that you drop or it's going to be a blowout for the Steelers. That's how I see it.
That's exactly how I see it, too. And the reason, I usually don't like to call Pittsburgh blowouts, but this game is in Heinz Field. That's why.
That's the Colts game too.
Oh, is that one in Heinz?
It's in Heinz Field.
Oh.
And that's why I'm like, I have that. It's like it could go either way because the Colts are known for beating teams that they shouldn't beat.
Right.
But it's in Heinz Field, so that's going to be a really good.
And not many teams have an actual home field advantage, but Heinz Field, even with limited seating,
they just play well.
And they have the wind of the river, so kickers have a really hard time. We saw that with Gostkowski, and then last year. I think if Pittsburgh, if Baltimore beats Pittsburgh, do you think Baltimore wins that division? Because technically it's tied game. So right now, Baltimore's 2.5 games behind. It's only 2, but half because they lost the Steelers. Do you think Baltimore pulls ahead?
I should have looked at the schedule. But I really... The way Lamar is playing right now, the way the Ravens are playing in general right now, their defense is very lackluster. Lamar can't hit the broadside of a barn with a wrecking ball. So, I think if they keep trying to make him throw the ball and don't let him run like they did
they're not going to win games.
They're not going to win games.
They're a one-dimensional team.
Yeah. People know how to stop Lamar now. So make him throw.
Well, there was that report that came out that I guess defenses are calling the Ravens plays while they're happening, and they just have to run them because they don't have any audibles to go off of, which is a really bad look for Lamar because I think his offensive coordinator right now was the same offensive coordinator that was with Colin Kaepernick and the Niners. Mm-hmm. And the year after Colin Kaepernick and the Niners absolutely destroyed the league, they started to get figured out, and that's when Colin Kaepernick's production started to diminish, was because people were just figuring out how the schemes work. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about Pittsburgh almost losing to Dallas. I think it's honestly, in my opinion, it's the best thing that could happen for them, just because it's a wake up call.
Yeah,
they will
tune-out game reality check.
Yeah. Speaking of Dallas, so earlier this week, Jerry Jones was on a local Dallas radio show that he does every single week, and the radio host brought up the idea of, you might be a top 3 pick this year because you're garbage. Do you take a quarterback? Exactly. I mean, that entire team, that entire division is going to be in the top 10, no matter what.
Man.
And he said, do you take a quarterback with that top 3 pick? And Jerry Jones said, no, Dak is our man. Do you think that if Dallas finishes with a top 3 pick and they can either trade up for Trevor Lawrence, or they can get Justin Fields, do you think that do you think they should hold on to Dak, or do you think they should take a rookie quarterback?
I mean, especially after the season that he was projected to have, he was playing balls of the wall at the beginning of the year. I think Dak is the future in Dallas, and I think that they shouldn't go away from him just purely because he works well with them. They know how to play him. I feel like if he leaves, it's bad for both organizations, because the Cowboys have to learn how to use a new quarterback, which could be good for the new head coach. I mean, McCarthy having his own little project would be good. Do
you think McCarthy lasts another year?
I hope not, but I mean, it is Jerry Jones still running the organization, so I mean, we can't.
But it is that's true. I mean, I still don't get how Jerry Jones didn't at least offer a contract to Urban Meyer last year.
No, I don't.
Here's my question about the whole Dak production, because I think you're right with looking at the numbers. He was by far the best quarterback in the NFL. If you just look at the numbers,
he was a passing leader after the week that he was gone.
Exactly, for 2 weeks he was number 1. But if you look at the last, I think it's 3 years, the passing leaders, they never made the playoffs. I think because their defense was so god-awful, that's what was showing Dak is good. Now, I'm not saying Dak is a bad quarterback. I think Dak is a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. But if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm firing Mike McCarthy. And honestly, I'm franchise tagging Dak and trading him to another team, and I'm taking a quarterback with that top 3 pick. If I can get Justin Fields for a third of what Dak wants with the exact same weapons, I'm taking that. Because Dak hasn't even gotten a playoff win.
I really think the Cowboys' problem, I think they need to keep the offense purely for the fact that they know what they have. Okay. I think they need to rebuild the O-line. I think they need to attack the defense, because their defense is what their biggest problem is right now.
Okay,
Dak is he's a top 50% quarterback. He's a very average quarterback.
Right.
But he's not, what he's going to give you. It's better than taking on a rookie that you think is going to do good. Mm-hmm. You know what you're going to get every year from Dak. That's 68% career completion percentage, or 66% career completion percentage. He's 68 on the season coming in until he got hurt.
Right.
He's a very average guy, but he's consistent. He will give you the same thing every game.
Would you sign him for $38 million?
I would not.
Okay, what would you offer him?
And so that's my biggest. I don't know contracts. I was looking at contracts.
32. I'm 32.
I give him 35, but I mean, in Dallas, he's the face of Dallas right now.
I mean, I agree. I mean, this team fell apart with his injury.
And I think just with his consistency, if you just keep him healthy, he'll be around for at least 5 more years.
Right.
I mean, I see giving him 40 in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
In Dallas. If he leaves Dallas, Dallas will fall apart unless they get a new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
They can come and rebuild. But if they keep McCarthy and they get rid of Dak,
they're going to fall apart.
They will fall apart, and Dak will go to another program. Well, not another program, another team, organization, and he will drop because no one knows how to use him like Dallas does. And I think that's the biggest thing. They know what they're going to get from him. They know how to use him. No other team will. I think if he leaves, they both fall apart, and that's the worst thing they could do.
Yeah, I think I saw a really interesting article this week where it was talking about how contracts have kind of blinded us to see how good quarterbacks actually are.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. If he was going to be the successor for Big Ben for 5 or 10 years, I would be happy with that. But when he gets tagged at $35 million per year, then you're expecting him to perform like that. And I think that's the reason I wouldn't sign Dak for $37 to $40 million, is because then Dak plays as everyone's expecting as a $40 million quarterback. And if he has one bad game, people are going, oh, okay, well then da-da-da. And then the other quarterbacks can go, well, if Dak can get $40 million, then I can get da-da-da-da. And that's why I think it's so bad. I mean, obviously, get your money. You need to get that money because an injury like Dak's, you never know what's going to happen. So you need to lock up your future as well as you can. But, I mean, if you're a team, you have to offer what you think. And I think that's why, if you have a top 3 pick, I would take Justin Fields. Honestly, he's a mobile quarterback. Okay, how about this? You're talking about how they need offense. Would you trade Amari Cooper for a secondary piece and a 3rd-round pick?
Oh, 100%.
Exactly.
I don't think Amari Cooper's worth what he's not producing like he was. He was great for 2 years.
Oh, and they didn't need a wide receiver this draft, and so they took CeeDee Lamb, which okay, cool, but unless they were planning on moving off of Amari Cooper because they just signed him. But I mean, honestly, if I could, I would blow this whole thing up this year. I would take Justin Fields with the 3rd overall pick. I would trade Amari Cooper for a mid-round pick and a good defensive player. That's what I would do. I mean, okay, do you think the Patriots would take this? Amari Cooper for Stephon Gilmore in a 6th.
Oh, man,
I didn't even think about that, but that defense, if Jerry wants to make money and he really thinks it's a Super Bowl team, he makes that move for Stephon Gilmore. Do you think the Patriots accept Amari Cooper for Stephon Gilmore?
I don't even think Bill Belichick knows what he wants. I think Bill Belichick's on the way out. I mean, I really don't think...
Oh, it would not surprise me if he's on another team next year.
I don't even... Because he doesn't like Cam. Cam doesn't like being there. I really think they're going to draft a quarterback this year.
Austin just had an aneurysm. Sorry. I felt that. I felt a disturbance.
There's a disturbance. I'll keep his name out of my mouth. I'm so sorry. But no, I really think because, I mean, I don't care who you put on that team. Until Bill leaves, that team is going to be this good. And that is
yeah,
I
agree
on that one.
I mean, I genuinely do think that Tom Brady is what made that team. But you know what? I mean, what if Dallas got Belichick?
I think he's washed.
No, okay. Belichick comes in to Dallas. Justin Fields, a better secondary with Stephon Gilmore, 2 elite. I think Gallup by himself with CeeDee would make them both elite receivers.
I agree.
2 elite receivers. You got Zeke, and you get Justin Fields, a mobile quarterback. You have Bill Belichick as a coach. He's not going to take shit from Jerry Jones. That's why I think that the Cowboys are mediocre, is because Jerry Jones tries to control everything. Mm-hmm. You get Bill Belichick in there, you could win 10 games. And that is enough to win that division. That is enough to...
Oh, you could win 8 games and win the division.
Exactly.
Well, first off, I don't think Bill Belichick likes mobile quarterbacks.
But he's got to evolve.
That's what everyone says. That's why I think he's out. But I really think... Because I mean, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Dallas' problem is not their offense. Their offensive line is getting old. They need to rebuild their offensive line. I've told everyone that. I mean, I know I'm an offensive line guy, but your offensive line, like, Zeke can't run right now. Mm-mm. If Martin's not in, he cannot run the ball. And then this draft, they need to attack the defense. I'm telling you. If they spend 4 picks on a defense, I think that's a good move for them.
So you think if they end up with the 3rd overall pick, they take a corner or safety?
I think they take a linebacker.
A middle?
Linebacker or safety? No.
Like an edge rusher?
Like a hybrid, yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes so more like a Dupree kind of player with speed, but he can
they need a rush. They need a pass rush, and then they'll go safety 2nd round.
I do kind of like that. I don't know. It's just
their offense is fine. Their offense produces. It's not good,
but their offense only produces when they're down. That's the thing. Like, they have to be down in order to produce. Like when
Dak was producing.
Only when he was down. You don't go down by 30 points to the Falcons if your offense is producing well.
I just think it's I think they have a play calling problem, but I think it doesn't matter because if they build a defense in their division, they win at least 4 games extra a year that they won't win. Because I think they can win 6 games in their division if they get a defense.
6 more games?
I think they can. Well, I mean, 6 games in their division then plus.
Oh, okay, got it. So then that's probably at least minimum like 9 games.
They're at least getting 9 games. That's a playoff win.
If they fire McCarthy, who do you want them to be the head coach? You can be college or even.
I want Debo to come out.
Who?
The Clemson.
Debo?
Yeah, Debo. Yeah,
that would be interesting.
I would say his name. I don't think Urban Meyer will convert as an NFL coach. I don't think he wants to go to the NFL.
I don't think so either. There's so much pressure.
He's getting paid buco money in Ohio right now. Mm-hmm. So
he's with Fox now. He's an analyst.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's even worse. He's never leaving that job.
No.
That's security. But I think, if anything, out of Clemson, I think he can convert. He'll just be like Andy Reid did. He'll bring a new offense in the NFL.
Okay.
And I think...
Or like the Cardinals are doing right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think if they let him come up in a year or 2, pick his own quarterback, just build his scheme, I think he'll convert really well.
That would be interesting. I think, just going back to Dak, I think one of the most interesting landing spots for Dak is probably San Francisco. If he wants to have success outside of Dallas, I think Kyle Shanahan, he's given up on Garoppolo. I think that'd be an interesting landing spot for Dak.
I want him to go to Panthers.
What about Teddy?
I think Dak's better than Teddy. I really do. I think Matt Rule being in there.
If you put Teddy behind Dallas's O-line, you think that Teddy doesn't do what Dak does?
No, because did you watch him last week?
Against the Chiefs?
Just the pressure.
Oh, okay. I was like, he lost by 2.
Pressure.
Yeah, I think that's...
He's thrown off his back foot.
That's kind of a good comparison. I think Teddy's a little more mobile and a little more frantic with the ball. I think Dak
is very patient. I
was going to say, Dak is a more patient version of Teddy Bridgewater. That's actually a really interesting comparison.
So I think if you give Dak to Matt Rule, especially out of Baylor, I mean... The offense they were running down there was awesome. I mean, I know I'm the only one in our entire group chat that likes college football.
Well, no, but their offense is running really well right now. Like Carolina is an underrated offense right now.
I agree. It's because I think it's because of Teddy. I really do.
That's holding them back.
Yeah. I think if they get a quarterback that actually has a half a brain and they can sit in the pocket, I think they're a great team.
Well, speaking of the Panthers, in our next leg, you can actually see where Parker has the Panthers and where I put the Panthers in our tier rankings. So stick around for that. Hey guys, so real quick in between the legs, I just want to remind you guys that it's getting cold outside. It's getting kind of desperate, especially with everything with COVID going on right now. So if you guys please have a chance, please go to your local food shelters, donate some food. If you guys have any extra clothing, please go to your nearest Samaritan house or anywhere you can donate clothes, Goodwill or whatever. Please donate clothes. There are people out there that would, I'm sure, love to have those clothes that are in the back of your closet. It's getting cold outside. And I mean, honestly, COVID cases are spiking. We're having our worst record days more than ever before. So there are people less fortunate than us that need those clothes and would love to have some food on their table. So if you guys have a minute, please donate some food. Please donate some clothes to those guys. Even if you have some just extra furniture, I'm sure that people would really, really appreciate that. We're nearing the holiday season. There are kids out there who I'm sure would love to have not some brand new toys, but just something that is brand new to them and that they could just hang on to for this really, really hard time. So if you guys have anything, please make sure you guys just look at your local food banks, you guys local homeless shelters, you guys look at just anything that you guys can donate to. Please do that. Look out for your community and please look out for one another. Please, everyone, wear your masks. Be safe. Stay healthy, and I hope you guys have a great holiday season. Please be safe. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the second leg of the Training Camp Podcast. If you guys missed in the first leg, we talked about the undefeated Steelers and their chances to keep winning games down the future, and if the Cowboys should take a rookie quarterback in this next draft or stick with Dak. We got Parker Blake joining us on the couch today.
Sir.
I did actually get you a gift, so if you want to lean over, there's a little present for you for Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, man.
Got my man a little pumpkin
You know me,
pie.
man. You know me.
Of course, man. Who doesn't like a good pumpkin pie?
I just love to eat, man.
Oh, there you go. So in this leg of the podcast, we'll be talking about our NFL tier rankings. I'll be doing these weekly from now on, so I asked Parker to bring in his too. So just real quick, the biggest changes for my rankings were I actually had the Colts rise. I had the Titans fall, of course, just a reaction of last night's game. I had the Vikings rise. Well, I'll talk about the Vikings when we get there. I had the Niners fall, the Browns rise as well, and the Bears fall. So just so Parker can get a good idea of what my rankings look like, these are my rankings right here. Just kidding. Those are your rankings. These are my rankings.
I was like, that looks familiar.
Okay. So yeah, my top tiers, I have Chiefs, Buccaneers, and Steelers. And then you actually, going to yours, you don't have the Bucks in your top ranking.
I don't, and I
you have the Cardinals in your top ranking.
I do.
So I actually want to talk about that in a little bit. And then my second tier, we got the Bills, we got the Ravens, we got the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Packers. And then followed by, these are my playoff teams. I like Miami. I think Miami's a good team. I think they're really, really, really well coached. I think if Tua really is what they expect him to be, they're going to be a great team down the line. The Raiders, they're winning games. Got to put them in the playoffs. I don't know what they are yet. I like the Browns, especially with Nick Chubb coming back. The Saints obviously made a statement beating the Buccaneers. And then the Colts won last night, and then the Rams. And then the teams that I have veering in. I have Minnesota veering into the playoffs. I know it's kind of crazy, but Dalvin Cook, man.
If he's healthy.
Exactly. No one can. I mean, they could sneak into a wild card spot.
Oh, yeah.
And that NFC wild card spot is kind of a trash race right now. I got Carolina looking in. I think they're another one of those bad bad teams.
Oh, yeah.
The Bears, I dropped them not because I liked them, but because I think that they're starting to show what they are, which is the exact team from a couple years ago where they're all defense, no offense. And then the Titans, I actually have them looking in because I don't know, man. Titans starting to scare me. They look a little too Derrick Henry reliant. Not much change in the other thing. Of course, we have dog shit teams, which are the Jets, the Giants, the Jags, and the Cowboys. Yes, even though the Cowboys almost beat the Steelers, they're still dog shit. So I don't want to hear about it. So yeah, looking at Parker's rankings, Parker has the Cardinals in the top top tier for Super Bowl contender. You have the Cardinals. What? Okay, explain.
I just think they're one of those teams that everyone is just going to sleep on. I know a lot of my picks are going to be very frowned upon, and I can't wait for our group chat to come at me. But
it's not frowned upon. I do like Arizona.
I think the Cardinals. They play really well, and they're another one of those consistent. I just think in the NFL, consistency wins you games, and that's what I said a lot about Dak. I really think Dak's a good quarterback for that same reason. But I think they're a team that get out there. You know what they're going to give you. Mm-hmm. You know what they're going to give you every game, and I really do think they've shown that they can beat better teams if they just get their whole team together. They have had a lot of injuries on the defensive front.
And they're not playing their number 7 overall pick, the Isaiah Simmons. They're not playing him. And, like, the few times he goes in, he makes so many good plays.
I think if Cliff keeps working this offense with Kyler, I think this offense turns into a high-powered offense really soon.
I mean, I still stand by my pick that Kyler's going to be the MVP this year.
Well, I like that. I like that a lot.
I said that at the beginning of the year, and I still think, like, I mean, he has more rushing touchdowns than 17 NFL teams.
I'm telling. I think their offense is just waiting, and I think with a half season left, that they find a way to just pick apart.
And he's not like Lamar, because he's not just all legs.
No, he's got a great arm.
He has a great. I mean, he was gonna play baseball like that.
He was a first round pick.
He was I'm gonna skim over your champion, your conference contenders, because you have the Bucks in the third. You don't think the Bucks are a conference contender?
I don't. I mean,
you have the Rams as a conference contender, but you don't have the Bucks.
In a bad NFC, I think Tom Brady is realizing that he's old, and I think that their offense is super, super inconsistent. They'll put up big points, and then they'll disappoint. I don't want to be dramatic and say that this is because of the Saints game, because that Saints game was a fluke
division game. There you go.
But I really think that showed what this team can be on the negative end. Mm-hmm. And I think if they have a couple of games like that, especially in the playoffs, like they're going to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, they're going to make a wild card no matter what. I mean, Easy. They could still possibly win the division and get that top seed, but yeah, no, they're going to win.
They're in the playoffs, but I think if they get like a Rams, a Seahawks, a Cardinals, there's no way they beat a team because they're just too up and down.
Okay,
especially throughout the course of the game.
I'm going to give you a list of teams that they could possibly face in the wild card. So obviously, if they win the division, they'll probably get the bye. If they don't, they get the wild card, tell me if they beat. Just tell me who wins this game. You got Bucks against Seattle.
Oh, Seattle wins the game easy.
Okay, Saints. Rams
win them.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't think this team will make the playoffs, but you have them in your playoff tier. Niners.
So, just to cut away, I have the Niners in there because healthy. That team's a playoff team.
Okay, healthy they're a team, but right now they're not.
Right now they're not, and I had a hard time putting them lower, but I mean they beat the Niners healthy or not though. I think
okay.
The Bucks do.
I do kind of agree that there were some cracks shown. I think bringing in AB was it was a stupid move by Tampa Bay, who did not need a receiver. If anything, it would be understandable if like San Francisco or Houston or Green Bay like brought in AB because like they need at least a predominant receiver. Yeah. But I mean, you have Godwin, Scotty Miller's been stepping up this year. You have Evans. Like honestly, they were set, and so I think that's going to be an issue for them.
AB's going to blow up because he's not getting targets.
I'm actually very curious how that's going to go. I'm really interested to see how that's going to go.
I want to know why Brady likes him so much.
Because he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and he's never had one of those before, besides like once.
Edelman, Amendola.
Did you just say Amendola? Damn.
No, great receivers of all time. No.
Those
are like his top receivers, and they're very mediocre at best.
So there were two other ones that I saw that I was like, okay, Parker, go off. You have the Vikings above the Packers, and you have the Chargers and Raiders above the Ravens.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the Vikings over the Packers first. You think the Vikings are a better team than the Packers?
I think with Dalvin Cook healthy, they are. Because Dalvin Cook can put out 3 touchdowns alone.
What about their defense?
I don't think it matters. Look at college football.
Just outscore your opponent.
Just outscore your opponent.
Okay. Again, I'm going to list you off teams. Who do you, if you think that they can outscore them, just say Seattle.
I think it's a close game, but I think.
Seattle's defense is actually kind of really bad.
They keep it tight. Seattle has no D. The NFC does not have defenses. Very few teams do.
I will say I do like Tampa Bay's defense. I do like New Orleans after that last game. New Orleans pass rush looks legit. Their secondary is I mean, I know they locked down Mike Evans, but like.
But the Vikings will see him late in the playoffs if they get there.
That's true. Do you think? They can keep up with the Rams?
I think that game will be running back. There will be 5 million rushing yards in that game.
Yeah.
Neither of them has a run because Aaron Donald's there. But you run outside zone away from Donald. Who do you have?
You're right. That's actually really interesting. I really want Minnesota to make the playoffs because I think that'd be a really interesting thing to see. Okay.
I mean, I hate one-dimensional teams like the Titans are showing that you can't do that.
Right.
But I think in an NFC with a bunch of bad defenses,
you can run the ball.
Having a Dalvin Cook healthy, if he's healthy, is awesome.
Okay. Okay. So you have the Chargers above the Ravens?
Yes.
Oh, is this just because of Lamar?
Well, no. I mean, the Chargers have a quarterback. But I think
that's true.
The Chargers' defense has really stepped on this year.
I agree. The only reason I'm hesitant is because they've been injured. They have a little bit of injury proneness. Like I think they're playing without Bosa right now, and obviously they don't have Derwin James. And I think they just lost a corner too.
I mean, they're playing without Bosa and Derwin James, and they've had 2 games that they should have won.
That's true, and
they should be +2 right now.
But do you blame that on the defense and not the offense? I mean, the offense is putting up the numbers. It's the defense is kind of blowing these games.
They're hurt.
Okay, I guess I could say that. So it's like more when healthy, they're better than the Ravens.
And that's my list. My list is bad because it's not. It's more like if you're healthy.
Actually, now I'm kind of okay. Do you think if health? No, not even healthy. Do you think now the Chargers could beat the Ravens if they played?
I think it'd be a great game. If Justin Herbert plays like he's been playing, I think they smack the Ravens.
No changes to the team except Los Angeles gets Eckler back. Does Los Angeles win that game?
Oh, yeah.
I really want to see that.
I do, too.
That's actually a really... Do they actually might play this week. Not this week, this year.
I was trying to think.
Because
our division doesn't play the West.
Well, but they played the Bengals. The Bengals played the Chargers.
I don't want to talk about that game.
Oh, no, they've already... Oh, no. No, they don't play this year. No,
of course not. That'd be way too fun.
That would. I really want to see that now.
I really think the Chargers are a great team that people just can't. It's just like the Colts. I think people sleep on them because they're not putting up those crazy games.
I think the Colts are a quarterback away. What I think the Colts should do is they should trade for Carson Wentz. I don't like Wentz, but I like Wentz with Frank Reich, who was his OC the year he was in MVP conversation. I think if you put Wentz in a Frank Reich system, then you can win games. I just think he's more mobile than Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers that's the one thing holding him back. They also their running backs are like shaky. Like Jonathan, what the hell was that?
No, that offense is so terrible but so good at the same time, and there's no reason for.
Tell JP he had Hines. Oh no, he was gonna pick him up, and then Corbin picked him up and played him against him.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Colts tank, pick up Fields, pick up Trask.
They don't have the tank to pick up Trask. They can get Trask.
I mean, I was saying tank for Fields.
At 20?
Oh, yeah.
They can get Trask. They could get... Oh, yeah. They can get Trask at 20.
I'm saying you get rid of... anyone but Phillip Rivers. Anyone. Pick up another quarterback. Because I've never seen such an... I mean, Aaron Rodgers is running around still. But Phillip Rivers doesn't even move his feet. He just stands.
Phillip Rivers has never moved his feet, though. That's the thing about Phillip Rivers.
But it's just bad. It's so bad. And we don't have an O-line. You can't... Why they thought...
No, he's a great O-line. What are you talking about? The Colts? They got Quentin Nelson in the inside.
Yeah, one guy, and he's terrible at his pass pro is garbage.
Is it really?
Totally.
I know he's a great run blocker.
He's a great guard. There's a reason he's at the guard.
And he can't move out to tackle.
He can't play tackle, and he can't play center because he can't be put in a one-on-one situation. He's a great assistant on pass pro, but if you see any of his film one-on-one, Quentin Nelson has no feet. Great run blocker, but Phillip Rivers, watch his games against teams with like a half decent pass rush. There's a reason he's getting sacked, man, all day.
Did you guys see that? That was like some coaching shit analysis right there. That was fucking amazing. That's probably the best like breakdown I've ever had on this show. Okay, this one was another one I was kind of questioning. You have the Browns rebuilding?
I think the Browns are a hair away from being the Giants and not knowing who they are because without their running backs, who are they?
Yeah, Myles Garrett. I mean, like, their defense is...
They're the same team they were when they drafted Myles Garrett. They're like, he's going to carry... You can't be carried by a D-end. They're the same team. They have not changed since that draft.
Okay, if you put Daniel Jones on the Browns and you put Baker Mayfield on the Giants, who wins more games?
I don't even... You just hurt me on the inside. I think Daniel Jones wins games just because he can hook it up to OBJ better than Baker can because Baker throws off his back foot. And Daniel Jones will take a hit.
That's true.
Baker's so foot happy.
And Daniel Jones is bigger. I don't see them as a rebuild. I see them as a playoff team just because they're one of the better record-wise teams.
In that division with the Ravens and the Steelers, I don't see them as a playoff team.
This is actually what I was talking about to JP about today. It would not surprise me if in 5 years the Bengals were the complete... Like, they had a chokehold on the NFC North while, like, the Browns are just going to be the Browns. And then, like, the Steelers and the Ravens just kind of find their identity.
No, I was talking about my other buddy's a big Steelers. I have all these friends that are Steelers fans. And it's so terrible being a Bengals fan. Because we haven't been good in so long. But I really think, because now we have Burrow in the AFC North. The Browns are still trying to find a quarterback. I really think they're going to draft another one this year. I don't know.
Do you really? Do you think they take...
I think that's where Trask goes, is Browns. Late. I think he drops to the second, the Browns pick him up.
You think he goes to the second?
I think he does.
You know what I think the Browns do? I think they take Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones is a first round talent. I think he's an okay
Ooh, I didn't
quarterback.
think about Mac Jones.
But like that's such a Browns move. Like, oh, this dude, like everyone's calling Mac Jones the Joe Burrow this year. I think Mac Jones is a good quarterback. I don't think he's the Joe Burrow this year because Joe Burrow set every single record. But
no one this year is the Joe. I don't care what people say about Trevor Lawrence. Mac Jones is going to be a great quarterback in the NFL, though.
You do think so?
Career backup, though.
Oh, okay. So like a Case Keenum.
Oh yeah.
He'll
be like a Nick Foles.
Like a Baker Mayfield.
Big Dick Nick.
Do you okay? This is something I've been wondering. Do you think Baker Mayfield would be a great backup?
No.
What? Okay, Big Bang. Who's injured prone? Aaron Rodgers goes down for half a season. You have Baker Mayfield to cover, just squeaky in the playoffs.
No, because he'll come out and try and show off, and he wants to earn the number 1 spot.
God damn, bro. Ego, man. Ego kills everyone.
Ego player.
Another team that's in the rebuilding category for you. You have the Dolphins, but you were kind of talking them up. Do you not like the Dolphins right now?
I like the Dolphins. I still think they're rebuilding.
Okay.
So I think they have Tua, and I think they know Rip Fitzmagic, dude.
So you like Tua?
Rip Fitzmagic. I love Tua.
Okay.
I like Tua. I called Tua coming out of college.
Okay.
I knew he was gonna start this year. I didn't know when. When Fitzpatrick was playing so well, I was like, oh, he might maybe not even play this year. And now they wanted to play him against the Rams, and
I think they were just worried what they had with him. And I mean, that first game wasn't good, but I think the defense was definitely controlling that entire game.
I agree.
But no, that second game he looked good. I think this week is going to be really interesting. Him versus Herbert.
I'm so excited.
That's going to be
I'm so excited.
Such a good game.
Because both I don't know what it is, but I just feel like both quarterbacks are going to flex and see who has the best rookie quarterback. I feel like it's going to be a pass.
Herbert should win the shit out of that.
You would think?
Yeah. Herbert is like, I think Herbert is better than Tua in one regard, that he has a better arm. I think Herbert's mobility is kind of underrated. Like him and Tua kind of run the same. Like Tua thinks he's a mobile quarterback, but he's not really.
Tua's too small to be running quarterback.
He is a mobile quarterback. How Dak is a mobile quarterback. He can get out of the pocket. He can
It's an if need be.
Exactly.
Yep.
But he kind of acts. Or in college, he acted like Lamar. Like I'm just gonna take off right here. Like you don't need to do that. Yeah. Just stay in the pocket, flush yourself out.
I think they did a great job in Miami telling him. I think they told him to not run. And I think you can see that when he plays. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's still a young kid. He wants to get out there.
I was gonna say like that Cardinals game. He has those highlights where he was just. I mean, and he is elusive. Like he's good, but
I think he wants to be Kyler Murray, and he's not.
Yeah, he's just bigger. I mean, Kyler Murray needs his legs, but I mean, he's not gonna live in.
I think Tua thinks he's fast, but he's
meaty. He's Justin Herbert.
Yeah, they're the same person. But I think they're in the middle of a rebuild, and I think they're another one of those teams that needs to find. They need to find a defense.
Okay.
They need to find a defense they have a great young quarterback.
Wait, did you say Miami needs to find a defense?
Yes.
What? They're like the 7th ranked defense right now.
Because they have a great front seven.
Oh, they need secondaries.
They need
like
secondary.
Byron Jones. I will say they need safeties. They need 2 safeties. I think that's what they need.
I think if they play Chiefs, Mahomes will light them up.
They played the Chiefs this year. Yes. Yeah, they do. That would be an interesting game.
I think Mahomes does what he does against the Jets and has 5 touchdowns against their defense.
Did you just compare the Dolphins defense to the Jets
secondary?
Defense? Okay, but I mean the Dolphins will get a bigger pass rush on Mahomes, and that's not going to affect Mahomes.
Against the Chiefs O-line? I think that's neutral. Are you okay?
Just died inside a little bit.
No, I think up front that game was very neutral. I don't think there's much of a run game, but I think if that turns into a shootout, Tua will not outthrow Mahomes.
No.
But I think just the lack of secondary will make that look like a blowout when it wasn't. Hot take.
Interesting. I kind of like that. I don't know. I want to see that game this year though.
I think people look at defenses as a whole, like from a fantasy perspective, and you got to look at like what these coaches are looking at. They're like they know they're not gonna run the ball. Chiefs have 3 great running backs, but they're not running the ball again. I guarantee it.
I mean, they don't need to.
Well, I think at this point the Chiefs are using every game as a tune-up game. Like, wonder what we can do this week.
Yeah.
Like, they scored 5 passing touchdowns against the Jets when they didn't even throw the ball.
Yeah, well, Mahomes only had like 27 attempts or something like that. It was bad.
That's my
last team that I see on here. You have Washington in the dog shit level. Do you not like? Okay, rank the NFC East teams. Because I mean, I'm probably Washington, Philly, Giants, Dallas.
You think Washington's that good?
I think they have a better culture as of right now. I think honestly, I think they have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Eagles.
I think.
Hot take. It shouldn't be a hot take.
It's like a button, man.
They're a game behind. Like, it really shouldn't be a hot take. But
it's not a hot take. That division deserves.
It's so bad.
Just end their season. Give them the first 4 picks. Let us finish the year. I mean, what was it? The Cowboys have 2 primetime games left. Why?
Because it's the Cowboys.
Flex them, please.
Please.
No, I think Washington and New York are the bottom of the division because I think the Eagles, as bad as the Eagles are, they're not a bad team. Especially in that division, they're going to win games in that division. I think the Cowboys, healthy, with Dak, is the number 2 team in that division. I think Washington's 3. I think Washington's 3. And the Giants don't even know who they are, so
I don't know, man. I think the Giants remind me a lot right now of last year's Dolphins team, where, like, brand new coach, they're dog shit to start the season, but they're fighting. I mean, like, Daniel Jones doesn't fall on his face, and Evan Ingram doesn't let a pass slip through his hands. They beat Philadelphia. They're in the lead for the division right now.
Yeah, but they're dog shit right now.
Are they? They're fighting their asses off, and they like their coach.
You can fight hard. You can fight really hard. I mean,
they don't have Saquon.
The Lions fight a lot. How good are the Lions?
3-5.
They're great, aren't they? I love the fight and the dog, but you just don't have the guys right now. I think Washington's the same place. I feel like Washington, they're winning games because they have heart. They have a great culture. They all love Alex Smith, but you have no team.
Well, they're going to take a quarterback next year, I think.
I sure hope so.
I think they take...
so they can break someone else's leg.
Who's the kid from BYU?
Oh, he's not up. Oh, he is. No. Ooh.
Yeah. Zach Wilson. They could take Zach. I mean, he's going to be one of those... I think if we're just going to talk the next year's draft real quick, I think Mac Jones goes to Cleveland in the second. I think Pittsburgh takes Zach Wilson.
I disagree.
Really?
They like bigger dudes.
Pittsburgh?
Yes.
We've had the one quarterback for 15 years.
And I think it's because they picked a guy that they knew could take hits.
That's fair.
They want a bigger guy back there. I like the kid from North Dakota State. I think
he would be good.
Looks good going to Pittsburgh. Safe pick. They pick quarterbacks late. They never pick a quarterback early.
Cold weather quarterback too. All right. Well, in the next leg we have our wallet winners, and Parker brought his own. So make sure you guys stick around for that. Welcome back to the final leg of the Training Camp Podcast. If you guys did miss it in the first leg, we talked the undefeated Steelers and the basically rebuilding Cowboys. Second leg, we talked about our NFL tiers, mostly commentating on how I thought Parker put his tiers. If you guys have missed it, Parker's also in the building, so give him some love. Obviously, the last leg that we always do is the wallet winners. If you're new here, wallet winners basically are my bets for the week. I do 4 spreads and then my upset of the week, which is always odds. I sometimes will include more than one odds if it's like a +1, I'll usually include it. But cool thing about Parker actually is he's new. He's newer to the sports gambling.
First season, man.
Yeah, and he's taking this shit by storm because not only is he like, I'll just put in some money here. Like you're going all in this year, man. I mean, you're designing algorithms. You got simulations.
I'm a big numbers guy, so I created this algorithm that could just give me picks essentially. And so I mean, it's doing pretty good.
Well, and you now have an Instagram page.
Yeah, we're trying to finish the branding and stuff on it. But yeah, we have.
So I'm gonna leave a link in the description so you guys can check out his gambling page, so you guys can just see how Parker sees every spread for every week that he wants to post about it. Sure. So who is your wallet winner for this week?
This is a rough week. I have a lot of close games. The machine has a lot of close games. My only pick is the football team +4. I don't know what the line's at right now.
Against New York?
Okay. I hate that pick. Those are 2 garbage teams. I don't want to watch the game to see if it hits.
Do you think they win? Or do you think it's just close?
In that division, anybody can win that game. It's going to be by a field goal, though, because that division loves to kick.
I do think Washington has a better defense. That might be.
Agree.
So I didn't do picks last week because we didn't have the show last week. But the week before, I didn't bust, but I didn't go positive. We went a whopping 2-3. I had the Cleveland spread, which did not work out for me. I had the Pittsburgh. Shut up. I had the Pittsburgh spread, which worked out for me. This is, of course, against the Ravens. And then I had the Chargers, which did not. Thanks for losing that game from you guys the last minute. Appreciate that.
2
really.
weeks in a row.
It's like 8 weeks in a row at this point. Let's be real. Sorry, JP. We love you, but your team does not know pull out games.
Not quite.
Oh my God. The Chargers are taking after Phillip Rivers. They have the same pull out game as Phillip Rivers.
Herbert's gonna have 3 kids in the next 4 years.
Oh God, no! Next 4 months.
Hot take.
And then I had Seattle -2.5, which was an easy bet in my eyes. They easily easily covered that. And then I had Detroit odds, which they got blown out by Indianapolis, so I was very wrong about that. My first wallet winner for this week. So, Chargers go to Miami. Herbert Tua, we were talking about it earlier. Miami's favored by 2.5. I'm taking 2.5 points. I think
that's gonna be a good game.
I think it's gonna be a good game. And we were talking about it earlier. I just think this is gonna be a game where Los Angeles is gonna look like Los Angeles is gonna win this, and they're gonna blow it. I think Miami's defense is gonna. I think there's gonna be one drive. It's gonna be really crucial to the Chargers where it could possibly ice the game. I like Miami's defense though. I really do like Miami's defense. I know we were talking how it's more of a fantasy relevant defense, but the way they're playing, I mean, they're buying into their culture. They're 5-3 for a reason.
Oh, for sure.
The Chargers are 2-6 for a reason. So you know what?
It should be 4-4. Should be 4-4.
Yeah, they should be 5-3. I mean,
they should be, but I mean,
they're another one. They're like the Bengals. They're a good bad team.
Great team.
2.5 points though. Since it's a half point, I mean, a field goal.
Oh, it's gonna be a field goal game.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I think it is. 30-27. I think Miami will take that game
for sure.
in Miami.
I'm excited to watch that game. The rookies playing each other, and Herbert's just got to finish, just like Joe Burrow. Just got to finish the game.
So also on the year, because of my subpar performance the previous week, I am now 16-16 on the spread. So we're sitting at 500. That's not bad. It's not good.
There's worse.
There is worse. There's better though. Like Parker's simulation, which is sitting at a whopping 73% correction. So if you really don't believe me, Parker is the real deal. My upsets are
Math works, man.
My upsets are 2-6. It's an upset, so like, what are you gonna do? And overall, I'm 14-22. I really don't want to talk about it. So we're just gonna move on to my second pick. We have Tampa Bay going to Carolina, and Tampa Bay is 4.5 point favorites. Tampa Bay just got embarrassed. This is a game. All good teams do this. You get embarrassed in one game, you're gonna blow out the next. I like Carolina. I'm right with you. I like Matt Rule's culture. I like the system they're putting in. I do like Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not gonna lie, but this wasn't even a thing when I chose this spread. McCaffrey is out too.
Oh yeah, I know. It's
4.5 points. I mean, Tampa Bay's gonna win by at least a touchdown.
No, yeah.
At least a touchdown.
Their defense is going to come out with an attitude this week, and I mean, any defensive coordinator, any level, you'll see if you get blown out that bad, or if you win a close game and allow that many points, you're coming out the next week. You're coming out strong.
Yep.
I think 14 is a solid line for them, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a big game.
Yeah. So final score for that game, I got 35-24. It's not a close game by any means. Tampa Bay puts up a shit ton of points. Next game, we got Houston going to Cleveland. Cleveland is a 3-point favorite. Cleveland's using their formula. They're running the ball.
Yep.
And they are not forcing. I honestly think losing Odell, I said this in the last podcast, I don't think an injury is ever a good thing. I never praised an injury. But one of the best things that could have happened for Cleveland is to not have Odell for a certain amount of time and see that he is what's hurting their team.
Oh, yeah.
Baker's forcing the ball to Odell. But, I mean, you look at the season or Baker's rookie season where he did take over a little bit. Why? They were running the ball. He was not forcing passes, and he was just playing the game. I think that's what they're doing right now, and they're getting Chubb back. That's a run, and then they could just use Hunt in the pass. I mean, Hunt was honestly a better running back when they had Chubb, if we're being completely honest here. 3 points also. I don't like it because it's not a half, so it could.
I hate solid points.
It could be an even. Yeah. It could break even just with a field goal. But Houston's defense is dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, Chubb's gonna be big for that because I think that gives Baker more time because they have to respect the run, and I think watch them go over 2 running backs this week, man. Watch them run both.
Well, and the weather's gonna be bad. It's gonna be it's gonna be a windy. It's gonna be I think it's a possible rainy game. So they're gonna be using the run a lot of the game. So I mean, if you want, take the under on that because. I mean, Baker's not going to pass. I mean, if it is, it's going to be dink and dunks. Like, if you have Jarvis Landry in fantasy, he's probably going to get you 15 points just because of 10 receptions alone.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I don't even think this game is close. I think they're just going to run the ball all over Houston.
I think because it's windy, they run the ball. I mean, this could get away from Houston if they let it.
Oh, exactly. And I think that's another thing. Talk about teams that need a lot of things. Houston, poor Deshaun Watson, man.
Yeah, that.
But yeah, so I have Cleveland winning this one 38-28. Fourth wallet winner. This one hits close to home for both Parker and I. Why? Because Cincinnati goes to Pittsburgh this week for a flexed game in the afternoon slot that me and Parker will both be watching. Not together, of course, because we have our own lives and I have work that day. But we will be watching with a heartache.
I can't watch games with you anymore after the Vontae.
Well, both of our teams do this to us, man. Like I think every week I am sweating profusely, like unable to move because Pittsburgh just can't make up their mind. I think Cincinnati's the same way. Like, you guys beat the Titans.
I love that you still have hope for your team after. Okay.
I don't have hope for my team.
That is true. You do pick against your team
all the time,
week, and I don't. And I love it because I laugh every time I watch your podcast because I just think it's funny because I pick your team every week, and I hate the Steelers.
Well, okay, but here's the thing.
I hate them.
So for this bet, I'm picking Cincinnati not to win. I'm not. It's a 6.5 point spread. Did you watch the Steelers last week? Yeah, they barely beat the Cowboys. I don't want to hear this bullshit. JP gives me a shit all the time. You're a Steelers fan. You're not trying to jinx it. No, I'm realistic about the team. This is a division game. This is the game that Pittsburgh should win. They always play down a competition. 6.5 points. Last week, the spread was 13.5. That's 6.5 is too much.
6.5 is a great number.
Cincinnati is the best, worst team in the league right now. I will say, apologies to Joe Burrow that you have to face this defensive front. I am sorry.
If we activate one more practice squad O-lineman, I'm flying to Cincinnati.
You're going to try out?
Bringing Burrow home. Prop. Is he going to break 300 yards again?
Is that what it? Oh, wait. Did you say Burrow break 300 in this game? Yeah. 300 sacks, 300 lost yards. Dude, I think he'll throw for 200. I think he'll throw for 230. They don't have Mixon this week. That's another reason I'm picking Pittsburgh to win. Okay, just real quick, I'm going to put the score up. It's 27-24. It's a fucking close game. I mean, you guys don't have Mixon, so you're going to have to run with Bernard, but Pittsburgh's run defense, again, they kind of got exposed the past 2 weeks, so they're going to step up this week. I really feel so bad for Joe Burrow that he has to face the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers front seven for the next
I do want to say I think he jinxed himself on that front because he knew what division he was coming into, and the first thing he said when he got picked is that he wanted to get hit. So, I mean, people are delivering.
He does take hits pretty well, though.
He loves it. He loves taking hits.
I like how you said it with a smile. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
Great. We love it. That's supposed to be our franchise quarterback. We'll just break him. Where's Carson Palmer at? We'll just play him back.
Do you think Burrow could be like a Andrew Luck where he just gets injured and pushed out of the league?
Andrew Luck's retirement surprised everyone but me because I actually watched the games and I was waiting for him to retire because he hates himself for being on that team.
Bro, that team.
He looked rough before he got drafted. Then he turned into the caveman from
the beard.
He looked rough. That man was constantly hungover to numb the pain. Joe Burrow. I mean, look at the before and after. Look at his picture before his
oh my God! Yes, so true.
Photo from LSU
and his team photo for the Bengals.
He's already weathered. That was preseason.
On a percentage-wise, what percentage chance do you give the Bengals to beat the Steelers this week? I'm honestly 50-50, I think.
First division game.
Huh?
No. Yeah.
You guys played the Browns twice.
No.
Between these two. Yes.
I watch the games. I don't like to, but I watch them. Pittsburgh dropped the first one they beat the Ravens in the first one.
We're undefeated.
Can you leave me alone? I started thinking about Burrow and got sad and depressed. You beat the Ravens in the first one in a close one to a Ravens offense that you should have had no problem stopping.
Right.
I think Burrow, we beat the Titans. We shouldn't have beat the Titans. I'm not saying that's a consistent thing we're going to do, but I think being a division game, I think coming off the Cowboys game, I think it's going to be close like you have it, but I think we drop the first one, win the second one.
In Cincinnati, I could see that.
Put it on paper.
I could see that in Cincinnati. All right, last one. This is my upset of the week. I don't know why this is an upset. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know how the losing team is the favored one here. Los Angeles is favored to beat Seattle after Seattle just got embarrassed to the Bills. I know the game's in Los Angeles, but are we watching the same Russell Wilson? And I know the defense is an issue for Seattle, but they're getting Jamal Adams is going to find his groove. They just got Carlos Dunlap from the Bengals. He's going to understand the scheme. He's going to put pressure on the quarterbacks. Who's going to run the ball for the Rams? Which 3 ones are you going to pick?
Which 3 running backs are you going to pull this week?
Which one's going to be the 200-yard gainer? Honestly, I don't think the Rams are going to go down without a fight. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Obviously, I have it 34-30, but why do you think Seattle's not favored?
I'm surprised this hasn't been a sharp action game like the Colts was. I'm surprised this hasn't flipped over and Seattle's not the favorite now. I don't see why people are agreeing with the Rams pick. I think people are overvaluing how bad the Seattle defense is. And that's why I love watching.
Fantasy does that.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I love watching lines, and I love that I have my own machine, so I don't have to really care about how the games go. I just get to watch the games, and my machine tells me what to pick. Because, I think I'm in the same boat. Because I'm like, oh, Seattle's defense is terrible. The Rams have had a great running offense. But
the spread has changed. No.
Oh, is it worse?
So it was negative. It was -1 for the Rams this morning. It's now -2.
Oh, I say take the.
And
plus.
they moved the over/under down by 3.
What's the over/under line at now?
54.5.
I'm taking 54.5.
It was 57.5.
That's like a 40-point spread in a college game.
Well, I mean, obviously I've been putting up 64 here, so yeah,
it's too bad.
That means bettors are putting everything on the Rams right now.
Yeah, and
dude, Seattle.
Go get your money.
Seattle is desperate for a division win because they technically are behind because of that loss to Arizona. So they need this win. Like I said, I got Seattle beating the Rams 34-30.
As inconsistent as they are, that's going to happen. It's not going to be that close either. I tell you that right now.
You don't think it's that close? You think it's a blowout?
I think it's a blowout.
Who wins?
I think it's a Seattle blowout for sure.
Rams put up 30? You think the Rams put up
I'll
20?
give the Rams 28.
Over/under for Seattle 35 points.
Over.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, over/under for Jared Goff passing yards 300.
That's under.
Seattle's defense?
Yeah. I think Jared Goff's that bad. I don't think they want to. Okay. My take. I think the Rams go up early. I think the Rams go up 14 early.
Okay.
I think they start running the ball. I think Seattle gets a fluke turnover for a touchdown to bring it back close. And I think Russell Wilson goes off in the second half.
So kind of like the opposite of what happened to the Seattle against Arizona.
I think it's the exact opposite game.
Huh.
I think their defense gets lucky and it freezes the Rams for 2 drives.
Why is the Ravens-Patriots game Sunday Night Football? Why can't Seattle Rams be Sunday Night Football?
Because just the same reason the Cowboys have 2 primetime games still.
Well, like 2 weeks ago, Pittsburgh-Baltimore was playing and they flexed.
In the morning?
No, they
had to flex it.
No, it was in the morning. And who played that night? It was Niners and someone else. It was Giants, Eagles. Yeah. I was like, flex the game.
I think we should just stop televising NFC East games.
Until one can at least win 6 games.
I'm sending a letter to Red Zone. I don't want to see it. No, I do. I was looking at the schedules earlier today, and I think all of our primetime games for the rest of the year are garbage. I think this Bucs-Saints game was good. It should.
Oh, I was like, it was good.
The scheduling was good. The game was not good.
There you go.
But I don't know who picks the games, but I think at least someone that watches football should maybe pick the primetime games. Just my take. No, this game is not going to be close.
Okay.
I think my line Seattle by. I'm taking the -7.5.
You're gonna flex that to so they're at +2 right now. You're gonna put that to -7.5. If you put $1 on that, you'll probably win $50.
I mean, if I could play the action, I definitely would.
Damn. Well, that was Wallow winners for week 10. And not only that will be our episode for today. Thanks for coming on the show, dude.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We've been trying to get him on the show for a minute now, but I mean, he's, like I said, he's a coach, and I just got a new job, so we've been trying to work out when our schedules will finally work up. Everything's done for us now, so don't expect this to be the last you guys see of Parker. We talk hourly about bets and sports and everything. We talk all the time.
Connor's teaching me how to bet, and I'm telling him what to bet. So
yes, sir. I mean, honestly, it will not surprise me if in these next couple of weeks, Parker knew what my weekly my wallet winners were because he has given me some of them. I mean, honestly, you guys, this is not just because we're friends. This is legit. His simulation is the real deal. He will win you money if you check out his Instagram page. He knows what he's doing. He's going to be getting to basketball soon too. So look out for that. Honestly.
Our locks are more than 70% on the season right now.
Yep, and honestly, he's kicking ass. He also does college football, so those are great bets to bet on too. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show. I'd love to have you on again sometime. This was a blast. This is one of the funnest shows I've recorded so far, especially just because you earlier you literally analyzed how an offensive lineman worked. That was the coolest shit. Definitely want to have you on again. Thank you for coming. If you guys did enjoy this, please please, if you're new, subscribe, okay? That'd be cool. Drop a like. Hey, you think your friends would like this? Maybe go show your friends this podcast. Like, hey, this dumbass talks about sports. He thinks he knows what he's talking about. Let's show him what's up. If you guys have any like other takes on certain things that we've said, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'm sure I'm gonna get something from Austin about the camera, about the Panthers.
I'm excited to see the group
something.
chat. Something.
But yeah, we're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. You guys can check us out there. But other than that, I'm gonna leave this podcast here. I'll see you guys next time.